Though, let's get to the floor show. Hennion Walsh Asset Management President and CIO Kevin Mahn is here. Makes sense of all that we've seen, whether it's Micron going from $1,000 to $940 or oil jumping exponentially, and this is day to day. The moves just change.
Yeah, where do we start here? Let's start with today's pullback. I'm surprised the markets aren't down further from here, because if these tensions continue to escalate between the U.S. and Iran and the Strait of Hormuz closes again, well, then we could see oil prices nearing $90 a barrel, perhaps $100 a barrel again. That brings inflationary pressures back into the picture and perhaps a rate hike from the Federal Reserve. But when your intro, what you pointed out was fascinating to me as a PM with over 30 years experience. The NASDAQ Composite Index is almost flat. Maybe it'll finish in the green for today. That tells me that investors are looking forward to a very strong earnings season, and they don't believe the AI revolution is dead just yet.
But how strong does the earnings season have to be, especially in the chip area? Because we saw what happened with Samsung yesterday. Overnight in South Korea, Samsung reports incredible numbers, a 19-fold increase in operating profits, and it got punished because that simply wasn't enough for investors. So the rest of the chip sector goes down. How good? How much do how much do they have to beat?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes your best isn't good enough, and that's what we're finding with these chip makers. But as it relates to Micron, they're still only trading at roughly 8 times forward earnings. They have control right now of that high bandwidth memory chip market, which you're going to talk about tomorrow, I'm sure. But they're getting some competition this week because SK Hynix now is going to list on a U.S. exchange with their ADR. So now U.S. investors can gain access to other parts of that memory space, because to me, Liz, the AI revolution starts and stops without memory and without power. Memory is crucial.
Well, here's what's brilliant about what's happening in Syracuse tomorrow is that the big complaint had been supply chain. A lot of these companies had been going to Asia for manufacturing, Micron among them, but Micron has built out so much here in the United States, and this particular plant, $100 billion build out in New York, will mean that we aren't held hostage when it comes to memory chips, which are so crucial for everything from data centers to your car. We won't be held hostage if there's some type of dispute with China.
Absolutely. It's brilliant on Micron's part, and it also helps the U.S. in terms of our supremacy in the AI race. Very similar to what Taiwan Semiconductor did with Nvidia to build a plant out in Phoenix, Arizona to build Nvidia's chips. Onshoring onto U.S. soil is very, very good for U.S.
Speaking of Nvidia, it is now at the cheapest level since 2019. It's almost made a round trip here. And yet this company is the leader in GPUs, the very chips that do so much of the heavy lifting when it comes to AI. So are you seeing some real bargains here?
I find them even more attractive at these levels. Shocker right there, because they sit at the hub of the AI ecosystem. Not only they are the leader in chip sales, but 88% of their revenues last quarters came from their data center business. So they are diversifying beyond just chip sales. And I wouldn't count Nvidia out, especially trading at what, roughly 19, 20 times forward earnings? Attractive here, Liz.
Yeah, in fact, I just want to be sure of that. Nvidia's forward earnings, 22.
All right.
22, but still.
Pretty attractive.
Pretty attractive, pretty cheap. That said, I have to ask you about the Fed, because we got the Fed minutes from the most recent meeting, which was June 16th and 17th. Yeah, a little bit rear view mirror, but some of the headlines were interesting, where every single member was in agreement that they should leave rates where they are, a pause. That was for last time. So the big question becomes, how do they view the next couple of meetings?
I think the Fed does nothing for the foreseeable future. What we're learning right now is we're in a relative Goldilocks state of the economy. The labor market isn't growing rapidly, but it's also not receding. According to Atlanta GDP Now forecast, we're looking at Q2 growth of about 1.2%. That's good enough, but not great. And of course, if oil prices do come back down, that relieves some inflationary pressure. So
although
no rate activity.
Some of these in the headlines said some of the participants do see inflation moving and spreading beyond oil.
Yes, and that would be the risk. And perhaps that's why 9 of them voted for a 25 basis point rate hike this year. But we have to remember 8 others also voted for no rate activity this year. And 1, of course, voted for a 25 basis point rate cut.
So what's your trade? What's your favorite trade right now that you can share with our viewers?
Yeah, one of the areas I like a lot is biotech right now. What we've seen year to date is $236 billion in M&A activity, a 90% increase over last year. In fact, it's the best start for biotech M&A M&A since 2021. Large cap pharma is going to have to be more acquisitive. If you're looking to play the rotation trade into healthcare, look at biotech.
Okay, but you like allogene therapeutics. I didn't get to see the other ones. Alkermes, Arcturus Therapeutics, ticker symbol ARCT.
Yes.
Do you see these as potential acquisition targets?
Absolutely. Take Allogene, for example. They're building T-cell therapies to treat blood cancers and solid tumors. They got a market cap of around $700 million. They're right in the sweet spot of who large cap pharma is looking to acquire.
I mean, my head's on a swivel because I'm looking at oil. I'm looking at biotech. I'm looking at the markets here. I'm looking at Kevin Mahn with some great ideas. Thank you so much.
My pleasure, Liz.